Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. If you were asked who discovered DNA, I expect you might know that it was James Watson and Francis Crick, who in the 1950s, though they didn't actually discover it, that went back to the mid-19th century, but they worked out its shape, the famous double helix. But of course, a lot of other people were also searching for that solution at the same time. And among them was Rosalind Franklin, who died on this day in 1958. She was a crystallographer doing X-rays, which produced pictures of what the DNA might look like, and this was the nature of her research. And one of her photographs found its way, and it's not known quite how, found its way without her permission into the hands of Crick and Watson, who unashamedly used the information that that picture contained without giving credit to Rosalind Franklin. When it came for Nobel Prizes to be awarded for the discovery, Crick and Watson received theirs, but nothing for Rosalind Franklin, partly because it has to be said that she had died by that time. And the rule was that Nobel Prizes could not be awarded to people who had died. But one wonders whether there were other reasons too why she, as a woman and as someone whose work had been stolen, in inverted commas, should be kept out of the limelight. She died of cancer. She developed that in the 1950s at the same time as she was doing this work on DNA. And kept going. She was totally committed to her scientific work and kept going in spite of the devastating effects of this illness, which then had much less that could be done about it than now. And she eventually died, as I say, on this day in 1958. A comment in her biographer is what I want us to focus on this morning. She was described as having a kind of wisdom. And it seemed to me that Crick and Watson had, Rosalind Franklin too, had enormous scientific skills and abilities, and knowledge that was really well used and profound. And Franklin and Watson had fame. And they were given the accolades for having had a successful life. Rosalind Franklin had none of that. And yet the way that she dealt with her cancer, the way that she dealt with the illness that afflicted her, had, so her biographer suggests, given her something much deeper, much more important, much more powerful, what she describes as wisdom as opposed to knowledge. And I'm reassured today that as we move forward in our lives, it isn't our knowledge, it isn't our public acknowledgement that should bring us to our deepest humanity. It will be the way that we deal with the challenges that life presents to us, and recognised by others or not. If we deal with them courageously, facing them and being bold and brave, then we shall develop a wisdom which is like no other.